If the TF comic series actually released bi-monthly, it would have ended in 2014. Anyway, you like TF2 comics but don't like waiting 2 years for a new one? Well, I've got something for you. Much like Saxton Hale's mildly thrilling tales, be prepared to be mildly thrilled by these mildly interesting TF2 comic facts. Wow, I'm mildly thrilled already. Well, let's go. Even though the comics do kind of blend both teams into one, the mercenaries in a Smith story are blue, but the Red Scout in Unhappy Returns mentions the events of that comic. In the comic Grave Matters, the newspaper that the ghosts of Redman and Blutarch Man used to find Soldier after they're murdered is the same one that Grey Man is reading off the monitor in Shadow Boxers. Saxton Hale's Maelstrom comic cost 20 cents, which is 8 cents more than the standard 12 that all other Manco Saxton Hale comics costed. This was because the government demanded that the issue explaining the recall of Manco's personal apple cores be released for free, so they responded by increasing the price. With inflation, that'd be an increase from about 98 cents to about $1.64. The first time we see the engineer without his goggles is in the Loose Cannon comic, where his eyes are revealed to be blue. This means that every mercenary except for Demoman and potentially Pyro have blue eyes. It's been mentioned a couple of times that 4 of the mercenaries can't even read, or are at least perceived to be unable to read. And the comics have shown Scout struggling to read several times. In Unhappy Returns, he's reading the Young Readers edition of Ghost DA, he has trouble reading a crate labeled Submachine Guns in The Naked and the Dead, and his Tom Jones tattoo is misspelled in the same comic. The soldier's very first attempt at a neck snap, which he would end up doing multiple times in later comics, came in the very first multi-page war comic, though it doesn't really work out that time. In the True Meaning comic, a Triboniophorus Tyrannus in a Santa hat is sitting next to the Pyro, but in the full comic it's covered up by a speech bubble. On the cover of a Smith story, a balloonicorn ornament can be seen on the Christmas tree. The comic came out about half a year before Meet the Pyro or the balloonicorn were officially revealed. In the War comic, the administrator is watching the events of Meet the Spy unfold before Miss Pauling shows up. In the Loose Cannon comic, the Islander can be seen on a table in Blutarch's office. So sometime between the 1890s and the 1960s, the Islander went from Blutarch Man's position to Poopy Joe's to Manco's then to Demoman's. In the comic The Contract, the strength of Saxton Hale's punch comes in at 2,751 pounds pressure per square inch. Ivan Drago in Rocky IV could only get that up to 1,850. And according to that same scene in Rocky IV, a normal boxing heavyweight averages 700 pounds pressure per square inch. Though I don't know exactly how accurate that is because I can't seem to find a consistent answer. But either way, Saxton Hale is, he's pretty strong. The coordinations that Miss Pauling gives to the TFC spy in Old Wounds leads to the Oregon Needle, which is the highest point of the Oregon Mountains in New Mexico. The Badland Brawler shirt that Demoman wears in Ring of Fire is the same team that Demo and Soldier went to see in the War comic. On the original version of the comic, Blood in the Water, Demoman can be seen with 2 eyes for one panel. This ended up being fixed later on. There's also what I assume is a typo in the comic A Cold Day in Hell where Heavy says was twice, and that still hasn't been fixed. Each of the covers of the comics in the TF comic series is a reference to a cover page or a panel from another comic. Ring of Fire's cover is based off a page from the Amazing Spider-Man comic Spider-Man No More. The cover of Unhappy Returns is a reference to the cover of Giant Size X-Men #1. A Cold Day in Hell's cover pays homage to the first issue of Action Comics. Blood in the Water to Batman #9. Old Wounds to the cover of Watchmen. And the Naked and the Dead cover is based off the cover of Crisis on Infinite Earths #7. And there you go, you mildly thrilled yet? So we've done source filmmaker facts, NPC facts, Halloween facts, achievement, taunts, hats, weapon facts, twice. I'm not super sure what to do next. Possibly more on hats? Maybe something about the soundtrack? Maybe not. If you got any mildly interesting ideas for some mildly interesting facts, I'd be mildly interested in knowing. So let me know. But until next time, peace out, dogs.